Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital. Long-term forecast is it's going to go to 13 million over 21 years.
비트코인 시총은 현재 전 세계 자본의 1% 수준이지만 머지않아 7% 수준까지 올라갈 것이며 장기적인 가격 전망은 21년에 걸쳐 1,300만 달러까지 상승할 것이라고 주장하고 있는 인물은 대표적인 비트코인 맥시멀리스트이자 비트코인의 인생을 건 남자 마이크로스트래티지의 CEO 마이클세일러입니다. 그는 비트코인 시장에서 가장 상징적인 인물이자 세계에서 비트코인을 가장 많이 보유 중인 인물 중 하나인 만큼 그가 생각하는 향후 비트코인 시장의 전반적인 전망과 비트코인의 본질적인 가치와 코어에 대한 그의 디테일한 인사이트에 대해서 함께 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
And I'm curious, sir, what you think is going on with the impact of the ETF on the price of Bitcoin.
I think generally it's been a good thing and it's created more demand, but you got to keep in mind that Bitcoin is smart, fast, strong money. So on a Saturday night, if you're worried about a missile strike, you can't teleport your $10 million apartment to Singapore, lever it up 10 to 1 and short $100 million worth of New York real estate. But you can short $100 million worth of Bitcoin by borrowing $10 million. So you have a lot of fast money traders, a lot of volatility, and that will cause and ripple into volatility in the ETFs.
Can you explain
this? That's okay.
Can you explain this, though? One of the things you just talked about, if there was a missile strike or something, there was a sense that people talked about this as digital gold. And maybe you still think that's the case, but it often doesn't act like digital gold in the midst of a missile strike.
Yeah, it's the most liquid, fungible, free capital market in the world. Your New York apartment's not fungible. It's not liquid. I can't panic sell it. So when there's a short-term panic, Bitcoin is trading really, really hard.
Isn't it supposed to be the opposite?
Over the long term, it's up 44% a year every year, and you either get 12% from the S&P with VIX vol, or you take 3x the vol to get 44%. So over the long term, if you're an investor, it's going to be great because it's strong capital. Over the near term, if you're a trader, you get lots of arbitrage opportunities.
Is it a non-correlated asset people can count on, or is it just a risk-on?
In the near term, whoever's got the most money can decide whether it correlates or non-correlates. It's like,
hey, Michael, just the whole idea of leverage in something that is admittedly so volatile causes some people some real concern. I mean, I'm far more conservative. I would be worried about that. What's the worst case scenario of something that would happen in a leverage situation like that with the Bitcoin ETF?
I think what happens is people offshore trading on Binance with 20 to 1 leverage get wiped out on Saturday night when there's a potential missile scare. And so they're the degenerate crypto traders. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, what you want is a free, open capital market. Everybody can trade it any way they want. And so if you're going to hold it for more than 4 years, you're going to get superior performance with that volatility.
Gensler, with all we've seen, and I wonder what you think. Do you have anecdotal evidence exactly what he's thinking in terms of Bitcoin regulation, given that do you think he's done the 100 hours that you said need to be done to understand it? And if so, what do you attribute I don't know, he's been unable to stop it because of the courts, really, but he certainly tried. What do you attribute that to?
I think this administration's been fairly conservative in their embrace of the crypto economy.
Right.
They want to go slow, carefully, deliberately.
But do they want to go, or do they not want to go?
Well, before Gensler entered office, the rhetoric was even more controversial. After Gensler entered office, you heard Jerome Powell, Christine Lagarde, Gary Gensler all say Bitcoin is a speculative digital asset. And that was actually a move forward. With the approval of the ETFs, it was a second move forward. I think clearly we're all waiting for big banks, bulge bracket banks, to start to custody and hold Bitcoin. That'll be the third big shoe to drop.
Do you think that the election matters, and do you believe that Donald Trump is more Bitcoin friendly than like a Biden and Harris?
Well, there's no doubt the Republicans have taken a very pro-crypto stance.
Republicans or Trump?
Well, Trump.
And you believe him? You don't believe he's
in
just
particular.
Yeah.
there's a tension between the 21st century and the 20th century. In the 20th century, company comes public, it cost $100 million in 4 years to go public. I know I did it in 98. In the 21st century, I can create a public crypto token in 4 hours for $100. So you have 100 million companies that want to be publicly trading an asset 1 million times cheaper, faster. That's the crypto economy. The traditional economy is you take 4 years, you spend $20 million a year on compliance. And I think that the two sides are talking past each other. But clearly, the future is faster, smarter, stronger.
I mean, you know what Senator Elizabeth Warren thinks about Bitcoin. I mean, if she becomes I've seen her, big jobs.
The political winds have shifted, and I would say that, at this point, the Republicans have shifted to way progressive, and the Democrats are drifting to the middle.
In terms of Bitcoin?
In terms of their view toward crypto and Bitcoin.
And let's say that it is a continuation of the Biden-Harris administration. Does Gensler take on a larger role? It becomes even more difficult?
That's all above my pay grade. What I would say is, my view is...
He would be Treasury Secretary? I mean...
You buy Bitcoin, you hold it for more than 4 years, Joe. That's my advice to everybody.
For anyone, buy it and hold it for more than 4 years. And then you think eventually it takes how much, let's say it is digital gold, what percentage of gold's market cap does it finally?
Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital.
7%?
My long-term forecast is it's going to go to 13 million over 21 years.
13 million.
13 million, but what is it 5 years from now? In your 4-year calculus?
It's been growing 44% a year with about a 40 to 50 vol. I would think it'll move on at 40%, then click down to 35, then 30, then 25. And at some point, it'll be the S&P return plus 8%, and it'll be the S&P vol plus 8%, because it's always going to be a more global, open, free capital market.